everyone, I'm Tim from Tim's PC and I build custom PCs to suit anyone's needs or budget. I also live stream my builds and repairs for transparency and education. If you'd like to see it get put together live, send me a message today. Tonight, we've got a nice all white, all Corsair build. I love it when
I'm a little bit biased towards a white PC.
I think because a few people these days are a little bit biased. So yeah, it's not always that we get to build a PC that's like, you know, but today we will be doing just that. So we've got all Corsair. We've got a Corsair Iq H100i Elite cooler. So and we've also got RTX 3060 Vision OC from Gigabyte. 3060 Ti, sorry, I did mean that. This is one of the cards that everyone's trying to get a hold of, the Visions. So we'll check that out, but like we'll go through all the components in a bit of detail here before we get started. Going? Good to have you here with us tonight. Like I said, this is going to be a really good build here tonight. I'm excited about this. We've got like all Corsair RGB, except for the strips there. We can't get cable extenders. We can't get Corsair cable extenders, unfortunately. We can get Lian Li ones. We can get Adata ones. No. Corsair have cable extensions, but they're like sleeved cable extensions. Yeah,
rainbow ones. You can get rainbow, can't you? Are they?
You can, but they're not Corsair. They're the Thermaltake ones. Yeah. There's a lot of different brands of all that shit. Yeah. No, that's all good. Yeah, so Corsair, you can go. We've gone with just the Thermaltake power supply here with a 5-year warranty on it. We could have gone with, if we weren't using the cable extenders, we could have gone with one of the white Corsair power supplies. And this would have given us white, flat ribbon cables for our power. So we can...
How come we didn't go with that?
Because we've got the cable extenders, and the power supply is about $60 or $70 more than this one here. And it's got the same 5-year warranty on it. I'd imagine inside.
It is the same on the side. You just came the white.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm getting lost here.
Chris says, "Hey mate, how's things?"
Hey Chris, how you going? Good to have you with us. All right. Well, let's go through the components here. So we've got the i7 10700KF here for our CPU. So a respectable CPU there, and we're going to be putting it in the Asus B560A motherboard here. Beautiful looking motherboard with all silver and white on it. It is a ROG Strix brand. There is a small picture of what it kind of looks like there, but obviously we'll take a look at this board. Yeah, it's very similar. It's very similar to yours. Yeah, of course it's got RGB on it. Yeah. We'll have a look at that when we unbox it anyway. We've got the, as I said, the Gigabyte RTX 3060 Ti Vision OC card. So this is a really nice white, and then it's got a bit of purple, bit of a purple strip on it on the side. It's a very nice looking card. They sell out pretty much everywhere straight away. It's pretty much.
If I could have one of them, I probably would, but I kind of like that one we were talking about today with the egg hatch.
Oh, the Aorus Master. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
We've got 32 gigabytes here of Corsair Vengeance RGB RAM in white. We have the Kingston KC 2500 500. We've also got a 2 terabyte WD Blue hard drive. This is a 7200 RPM one. And as I said, we've got some Corsair QL fans to go in our case. which is the Corsair 220T in white. And it's going to look very, very nice with our QL fans in there. And as I said, we've gone with a Thermaltake power supply here. So this is a Thermaltake BX 650 watt, 80 plus bronze rated with the 5-year warranty. So it's a good quality unit, that one there. So as I say, usually the best way to gauge the quality of your power supply is not the 80 plus rating, it is the warranty that you see from the manufacturer. That's the easiest way to tell the difference between a good power supply and a bad power supply without being like an absolute power supply enthusiast and, you know, knowing all about all the different models. Because you could find one that doesn't have a warranty, but you could, you know, nerd out and work out what's inside it and be like, oh no, that's actually a decent quality unit. It's got these capacitors and blah 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 blah. That's a good one, sort of thing. And even though it doesn't have the warranty, but if you don't know the easy of the warranty from factory, the 80 plus rating is an efficiency rating, so that's about your power bill. And if you're just running one PC, I guarantee you won't notice the difference between 80 plus gold, 80 plus bronze, 80 plus titanium, whatever. Yes, yeah, this is going to be a beauty. So yes, it is, Bella. So you want to hold it up a bit closer and people can have a bit of a closer look at what the card looks like nice and early. So there where it says the name of the brand. But yes, an all white card, this one. Like I said, they're sort of hard to come across. Like they come in and places get them in stock and then they sell out really fast. So if you're not sort of at the right place at the right time, they go. Yeah. So, and like I can't. Scorptech usually has them in stock. The only thing about Scorptech for me personally is they have a limit of 1 card per address. So I can't buy lots of these cards from Scorptech. So I can get them, and you will probably be able to buy one. It's to stop scalpers. If I could sit down with Scorptech and they still wouldn't want to do that, because if I sat down with Scorptech and wanted more cards from that, they'd want me to buy all the parts from them, and that's not going to happen. sorry.
Tim's gonna find the best.
Yeah, I'll find better prices so I can offer customers better prices. That's always going to be a better thing. Yeah, and also I don't want to deal with a business in Melbourne. I'd much rather deal with wholesalers and retailers that have offices and businesses based here in Brisbane, because it just makes life so much easier for me. If ever I have anything to deal with, I can deal with someone local. I don't have to send things away and wait for all that transit time. I can, like, if I've got a heap of RMAs, I can go and take them back to the one place, so I can do it all at once. I can do it in person, and I can explain to them what the problems are with the communication thing. It's very, very easy to explain. You know, if I've got a motherboard with a problem,
with walk-ins, they like test in front of here and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with me, if I come in, they just assume that I've tested them, and I just give them the details of what's wrong with it, and then they just process it on their end. It's really, really, really easy, and makes it easier for me if I've got a customer who's got a part that's failed under warranty as well, because then it's easy for me to take that back to a local business and sort it out, because with warranties, it's all like a bit of a middleman thing, you know. It's not my job to fix the power supply under warranty. It's not even where I bought the power supply's job to fix it under warranty. I'm taking it back to them, and then they're taking it back to the manufacturer. Or they might not even be taking it back to the manufacturer. They might be sending it back to the regional distributor that they bought it off, who will then be sending it back to the manufacturer. It depends what item it is and how it's supplied. Anyway, I'm wasting a lot of time. The RGB cable extenders, and I think that's everything here for this build that I've mentioned. I think I mentioned everything at least once in that relatively incoherent rant there about all of these parts. I can say it myself, I'm very tired, I'm very overworked right now, so you'll just have to bear with me. Alrighty. In here, or do we have a good one? We have the crappy one. Yay! Love me a crappy one. They have updated them, but it's obviously not on all boards. Alrighty, so we got what we got here. M2 little stickers. Get rid of that. What have we got here? Oh, a white extender cable if we wanted to plug in an external graphics card or something. That's kind of cool. We have here nice little ROG keychain, it looks like, or something like that. Got a nice little card from ROG, just says crap on the back. Got some M2. Still got a CD-ROM, very important because you know you're buying this motherboard and you're hooking up the optical drive straight away, right? That's what I don't understand, right? Like, who is buying a ROG Strix motherboard and putting an optical drive? Yeah, like I want to meet that person and I just want to like have a chat to them about like their logic.
Are they building a sleeper?
Yeah, like yes, sure. Maybe you're building a sleeper, but you don't have to install the optical drive. Alrighty, so let's have a look. It's a very nice board. Even the back of it looks nice. It's a pretty good looking back of a motherboard. Even got their brand on there and everything. So let's check out this motherboard before I drop it.
Freaking drop it! Oh my god!
Yeah, I'll be up for a new ROG Strix board, I think, if that's the case. Yeah. Which won't be very nice because that would probably be all of the profit I make on this PC build gone in the one board. So that wouldn't be a good thing. Don't want to drop this.
Let's go with a diagram.
A diagram of what? How to put an M2 drive in.
Yeah.
So going around the board here, we've got 8 pins of CPU power. We have these really nice metal heat sinks on our MOSFET VRM co-processors here. So no issue with this board. You can put whatever CPU you want in it and be confident that the motherboard's going to keep up there. We've got our LGA 1200 socket here for our CPU. We've got a couple of fan headers here, so a CPU here for our memory, so dual channel memory, 4 slots, 2 channels. So we'll be installing one stick in this slot, and we'll install another stick into this slot. So the reason is we want one stick in each channel because the CPU can talk to both channels at the same time. If we had them right next to each other, say in these 2 slots, then we wouldn't be getting the benefit of being able to talk to both of them at the same time. So you can see how that would probably be a benefit even if you didn't know much about computers at all. I'll respond to that, I'll get to that later, because if not I'll get sidetracked again. I've already gotten sidetracked a few times. I'm trying to actually stay on track. No, you're right. So we got a 12 volt RGB header up here and a 5 volt RGB header over here. Power, so the main power for the rest of the systems on our motherboard. We've got a USB-C front panel connection there. We've got a USB 3 front panel connection. And then down here we've got these 6 SATA ports, 1 high in the horizontal position. So not that chunky, like too high sort of box. They're all nice and sort of low profile there. We'll only be installing one of these cables probably in this top slot and will be covered up by our graphics card. So we're not even going to see any of them anyway.
And that brings us down to the bottom of the board here. So we've got our front panel connections here, which includes diagnostic speaker header here on the end. So that's why the connection looks like a bigger set of pins there, because it includes the diagnostic speaker pins on the one header. Then we've got our clear CMOS pins here. So if we were an overclocking enthusiast or something like that, we could put our reset pins on the clear CMOS header down there, and then our reset button on the case would be a clear CMOS button. So whenever we fucked up with our overclock settings for our memory or our CPU, we could just reset and start again without having to fuck around and find the header there. Because you can put these two pins here for the clear CMOS, you can put the reset switch onto them and it just activates them when you press the reset button. Just don't have it set up like that and then forget you have that set up like that and then go to reset. Then you'll be really pissed when you have to sit down and spend 15 minutes keying in all your BIOS settings again. That's good fun, and I'm speaking from experience there. Alrighty, so we've got two fan headers down the bottom here, but a little bit light on fan headers so far. Only two up here, two down the bottom there, two USB 2.0s there. They're RGB. Then we've got another two RGBs down here. We've got a trusted platform module header here. We've got two fan headers up here in the middle. I can actually route cables through. You should be able to see. I can actually route some fan cables discreetly down there to these two fan headers in the middle there. So that will make it a little bit nicer. But then the rest of the stuff at the bottom there, we've got our front panel audio connection plus a Sony Philips digital interface header if we required that for a sound card or whatnot. Anyway, this stuff over here is all of our audio stuff. So you've got this chip here, it's got a little bit of sticky over it, we'll take that off. And these little gold capacitors here are our audio capacitors. And at the back of the board here, we've got our we've got our front panel audio connection, not front panel, rear I/O audio connection with audio type C. Okay, that must be what that extra cable is. It's not an extender for a Thunderbolt device. It is. Haven't seen that header on a board before actually. So check that out. USB C for audio. So I haven't seen too many USB-C audio devices, to be completely honest with you. So we've got 2.5 gigabit Ethernet here. We've got a Type C. We've got three other USB 3.0s or above. We've got some USB 2.0s there. It looks like. We've got a flash BIOS button there. We've got a display port and HDMI port there, which won't be in use for this build because we've got an Intel F-series CPU. Alrighty, and then all this stuff down in the middle here is basically just what we've got left. We talked about these fan headers up here. We've also got two M2 slots here. Looks like they really have room for a third. What's going on, Asus? Anyway, we've got a PCIe X16 slot here. This other one that's the same length is actually X4. You might be able to see the pins sort of glistening there in the light. You can see that they only go part of the way. They only go about a quarter of the way along that slot, because that one there is only an X4 slot, whereas that one at the top is connected all the way along. So that's our main one for our graphics card. So never plug your graphics card into that bottom slot. Unless you've got a motherboard that has a second X16 slot, then it's fine. Then we've got three little X1 slots here, and then under here obviously is where. And that is all the main features on this motherboard.
So I'm curious, does anyone have a USB Type-C audio device? Because I'm hard pressed to think of a brand of speaker or something like that that uses that interface. What have we got here? We got some questions from people. So Chris asks something I've been wondering, but dual channel 16GB versus 32GB. I know 2 GB is the meta for games, but if I can, so the advantage with 32GB right now, there's a few of them. One is future proofing, because games are going to get more memory intensive as each update comes through. You've probably noticed that already, that RAM usage just seems to go up and up and up and up in games. That's not a coincidence. That's the way it's going. In fact, right now, if you're running 16GB in certain games at certain resolutions, you're probably already bottlenecked from a memory capacity perspective. So you definitely want to go 32GB if you can. That's ideal. 32GB right now is kind of like the sweet spot for, well, not so much average. You're fairly like median kind of user, if that makes sense, if you understand the difference between a median and an average. So like the median user would be the sort of person who like does a little bit of video editing, does a little bit of gaming, does a little bit of like a lot of things, but is not like not really hardcore into any of them. They buy sort of like a mid-rangey computer because they want the options to be able to do all these things with ease. That kind of level is what you get with 32GB. So I would say that if your budget permits, definitely get the 32GB, definitely. And in terms of the difference between running two 16GB, really, when we get into that, we really have to look at the specs of the individual kits that we're installing and all that to really say which one's going to be ideal. Because I mean, you could find a kit of 4 that's going to outperform a kit of 2 and vice versa. So I don't want to say 2 is better than 4 or 4 is better than 2, because memories, you'll notice that there's a lot of different modules of memory that even looks like relatively the same. It might even have the same speed, but it's got different model numbers. That's all stuff to look into if you want to find out what is the optimal memory configuration. What's the configuration that's less likely to cause a random blue screen on your computer? Like, these are all things that you can look into in a lot of depth. I could spend too much time sort of getting into all that right now. So what else have we got? What's your motherboard? LG8 1200 socket. Talk dirty to me, baby. Love it. Alrighty. So let's get started with this board. So I'm going to start with the CPU here. So we don't get coolers with our Intel K series CPUs. And if you're wondering what's the K all about, the K is essentially Intel's top tier CPUs for what it is, right? For like an i7, if you get the K model, that's the best one. And it's not just, some people will say, oh, the K means you can overclock them. Yes, that is true, you can overclock them. But it's not the only reason why you would buy a K series Intel CPU. A K series Intel factory So straight out of the box, if you get one and compare it to the non-K one, it's actually a faster, much more high-performing CPU in pretty much anything you throw at it compared to the non-K variant of the same generation. I've read the comments. Yeah. So even if you're not overclocking or anything like that, if you look at the prices and you go, oh, the K one's not that much more expensive, is it really worth it? Probably is. Most probably is. If it's only 30, 40 bucks more, it most certainly is. Because there's a process when they make silicon chips. See, they don't all come out the same when they make them. It's a very to make CPUs and put all the complicated microcircuitry on them and stuff. And the fact is, it is an imperfect process. So when they make the CPUs, there's a process called binning, which is where they basically take the CPUs out that they've made and they go and test how well they perform in these tests. They get graded.
It's really stuck on the sticky. I can see it in the reflection.
Ah.
I can see the Christmas lights in it. It's really on now.
So when they make the CPUs, they do this process of binning. They rate the CPUs, and so the best CPUs
it's
that
like
they get.
Sticky that was on your.
Yeah.
You do it.
Yeah. So the K series CPUs, they are the best ones that come out. So you're getting the ones that essentially came out perfect. They came out and they became the K ones. All the other ones are the ones that didn't quite perform at top tier specs. So they became all of the other SKUs that you see. No, there's nothing over that.
No.
Stop.
I saw it in the reflection. After seeing yours, I literally thought that was part of it. And then you replace your motherboard and we were like, ew, there's some sticky to peel off.
Yeah, well, it's really stuck on there. I didn't know it was on there. It seemed pointless to, bloody even consider putting sticky over the things that they put sticky over. Like, it's...
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
I was like looking at that bit and it's like sticky on.
So, actually, let's leave our top... Let's leave our top M2 slot, because it's easy where the graphics card sits, whereas down here can be a bit of a pain in the ass to get to. Oh, we've got one of these new M2 clips on this board. Oh, these are cool. I'll show you these, babe. Come over here and have a look at this. So these ones,
Oh.
you just...
Yeah, I've seen like the rubber ones kind of like that.
They're clips.
Okay.
It clips. See it like twists around. Put it on. Clips. Do you feel it clip?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very good.
So screwless M2.
Don't actually peel the sticky off.
Yeah, nearly. Sweet as. Well, that's our board all sorted. So there, towards the end, it's coming up. Started with this cooler. So we don't have the QL fans for the cooler, just because the cooler is going to be mounted to the top it's a little bit redundant because the purpose
Yeah.
the purpose of the QL fans is, see how they've got like, it's like the two ring design. It's not just on the front of the fan, it's also on the back of the fan. And you can address all the zones independently. You might just open it up and show people. Just open it up.
Yeah.
Alright, you got the alternative controller there, which we'll probably use. Our mounting kit. Some screws. You can see the two different lighting zones on either side of the fan. So one of the things with Corsair fans is each LED, each individual LED inside the fan is independently addressable. So you could have every single LED in the fan. There's probably like 20 plus on each side. And you could have each of those 20 LEDs on each side as two separate colors. Yeah, show them yours. Show them what your fans are currently doing. So Christine's got a pink. Oh, sorry, I've got to have a drink or I'm going to cough my guts. So, Christine's fans have like a pink and cyan kind of base colour. Pink in the middle and cyan on the ring. But there's also a rainbow pulse effect which we've overlaid on top of our custom scheme. Yeah, so you can see all of the, yeah. Yeah, you can see it across all the fans there. You can see how it's pulsing like rainbow colours, but then it's going back to that pink and cyan base. That's just one example of the level of customization you can do. And it's not just the rainbow pulse effect. There's like a big long list of different effects that you can apply. Corsair have the best RGB software. Getting the best in terms of RGB. Alrighty, so we've got a couple of fans to install here. I do like to change the plate on this.
Oh yeah, I like
The plain one. Yeah, it looks better, eh? It's not just me.
No. If you go on the black one, it's better with the other one. The plain one's better if it's white. Oh, hang on. What are you doing? Oh, no.
That's the one
I
I'm
like
putting.
this.
That's the one I'm putting on.
Oh, this one. Yep.
Yeah, I'm taking this one.
This one looks brighter.
Yeah,
than the
it
other one.
looks nicer with the RGB on it. Okay, so the good thing about these plates is it allows you to mount the cooler any way you want in the case. Just got to be careful the top doesn't fall off it while it's in this position. So, what are we going to do here? I'm thinking I'm thinking just like that, honestly. That's alrighty. So we've
putting our fans here in the exhaust position, which means we're going to be looking at the front of the fans from our case. Now I should have got a big bag of bolts and crap. Oh, already dropping it all.
I'll put these fans on for you if you want.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, you can start on them. Do you want a big screwdriver? I want to break our cooler. So we've got pre-applied thermal compound on here, which is going to be fine for this.
Lindsay's maybe easily interested. Why, thank you. Buddy. Have you not been fed? Surely Mum would have fed you one. Chicken's been gone for ages.
He's just trolling for what he can get.
And he just gave me a head up.
Yeah. He's just out there fishing.
This. Might be handy.
Yeah, yeah. that might help you a little bit.
Okay. Where are those screws? Screws.
Yep. Okay.
Buddy's making scones when we jump on. That's what I thought.
Oh, really? Okay. So we've got our Intel backplate there, and Intel, not 2011. We want LGA 1200.
Do you want them on the inside or the outside? Probably the outside.
Inside.
Inside?
Yeah. That's how they're designed on that case.
Okay.
All right.
You
So
know it better than I do, so.
yeah, yeah. Okay. So our backplate is in place there, and we just need these screws and
Freaking do what I want you to do.
put this block down. Oh. Sweet. Alrighty. Oh god damn it!
What?
I'll put these stands on back to front.
You're really good at that.
I am, I'm so good at that. Luckily I could fix this really quickly, just wasn't a real pain in the ass.
Well, at least by the time we've done that, I'll have this last fucking fan on.
Be careful what you say.
Are we having a race now?
Yep.
Oh shit. Look at him go. I win.
Damn.
Yeah, I win.
Wasn't a fair race anyway. Okay, now we're back on track.
Oh, you didn't peel the things off these fans.
I didn't. You opened the fans.
Hang on a sec. Jeez, I'm being called.
You're being summoned. Alright, let's put this on in this lower position. And we might just put two in for now, because this rear fan will be adjusted slightly once we get our cooler in. Alright. Sweet as. Well, it's power supply and hard drive time. RGB controller there in this case. Get some other parts there. We do have this other controller which I think we're gonna have to utilize this. Alrighty, so what do we do with the controller? What do you reckon mounting this, so this controller, putting this back here somewhere? I'm thinking, I'm tempted to mount it to one of these hard drive trays. We've already got one hard drive in there.
Why not? It's out of
And it
the
keeps
way.
it out of the way. Because the only other alternative is I take one of these SSD ones out, but I think that the
Yeah, no,
SSD ones are more practical in this day
Yeah.
and age. I've already got one hard drive. Surely I'm not going to put another hard drive in. Alright, let's do that, because then it will be a little bit neater out the back.
How about house plan? Maybe.
Yeah.
At least get it in the box. Sticky ones too.
It always is. Okay, so if we position this in here, it will be out of the way, and there'll still be plenty of room to plug in our devices despite that lip right. Yeah, absolutely. Heaps of room. Cool, cool. So we can put that controller down there in the bottom hard drive tray, and we can put our actual hard drive in the top tray. the right size. I don't know what's wrong with this bulb. It's the right size thread, it's just not threading. Looks in the right condition, but we'll get rid of that one. No, that's just spare cooler parts. I've got plenty of spare Corsair ones if anyone ever wants to upgrade to Threadripper.
Which way do you want it?
Face down. Yeah, don't worry about tying anything down with this one because I'm gonna have to do it all later. She's doing that. Silly Wi-Fi antennas to install.
Can't wait till they start including
The good ones. Yeah. See, the problem with these is they're not magnetic and they're really light, so they don't stand up too well. That's why you always hear me complain about them. It's not like you won't get good reception with this antenna or something like that. It's not a complaint like that. It's just, yeah. Other brands have a magnetic stand for it. This one just falls over and stuff. There's no magnet on it. Like I can get the cable right on the bottom there, but it still sort of sticks out a bit, enough to push this off balance. That's why you hear me whinge about that. So let's get all these cable ties out of the way on these fans. Then we can get our board in the case. We shouldn't have any offsets to install here, I don't think. It looks like all 9 are in the right place.
I feel like I need to buy Buddy his own gaming chair, because he always jumps in my grave whenever I get up. Buy Buddy a gaming chair? One of those Thermaltake ones? He's sitting in.
The Thermaltake one. Thermaltake and Porsche, you know, Porsche, like the sports car manufacturer, they teamed up to make a gaming chair that is all real leather and designed like it's designed, the actual chair itself is designed by Porsche engineers and has real leather, and it's probably the most amazing chair I've ever sat in.
Are you going to Untitled tomorrow?
Yeah, we'll go to.
Can we go there?
We'll go there just so you can have a look at that one. Yeah. There'll be There should be a UMart order tomorrow.
You show me the chairs online, they're pretty good.
Down there, I was in there and I was chatting to him and he's like, oh, Tim, have you tried the new Thermaltake chair? And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, we've got like a $1,700 Thermaltake chair now, designed by Porsche. I'm like, no way. Anyway, sat in this chair, I'm just like, ha 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 ha, look at this. So yeah, really good chair, but could I drop $1,800 on it? Probably not.
Tax write-off, Tim.
Oh, yeah, mate. Anyway, what do we got here? We've got these cables out here for now. Alright, so what have we got? We got one of those guidance bolts. We sure do. That will make our life just position the cooler in such a way that there we go.
Tim,
Yeah.
Michael says I'll be buying a PC from you next year. I just moved to Morningside, so he's a pickup.
Ah, awesome, man. And yeah, I prefer pickup because I actually go to a little bit of effort to ship them off. So like getting them packed up for shipping can be a bit of a pain. Are all these... Are you serious, Corsair?
What's that?
Corsair have two different size offsets.
What?
They have two different size offsets.
That's stupid.
Just drop the cooler, Tim, it's all good.
Right.
Okay.
those cables in place. Let's get our CPU power cable in place. That's always a freaking pain.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
What?
A couple of strips.
Yeah, some strips would go alright, but sweet as, that's looking pretty good up there. Just enough room for this. There sure is. Good. Alrighty, let's put another couple bolts in. So I will have to plug in. Oh no, we should be able to get to that 5-volt header easily once we install the radiator, because it's on the side, not on the top. Alrighty, so that's everything I really need to plug in up top. So now we can turn our attention to getting the cooler inside the case. Yeah.
End up getting dirty.
Yeah,
in a
like,
few years.
yeah, absolutely. I might have to get the Dremel out.
What's wrong?
I might have to cut some of this fan down on the side here because of the height of the RAM.
You'd think that Corsair, being this is a Corsair case and Corsair cooler and stuff.
We've had the same issue with a Be Quiet one before.
Yeah, we've had this issue with plenty of them before. That's why we have a Dremel tool right here. So, luckily you won't see any of this because this is around the back. it's a small amount of it gets the slight smell of burning plastic.
That's because
Yes, this is all because of Corsair's own products. You would think that putting them together would not require cutting tools. However, I think
Tim,
Yeah.
Aiden says, what did I walk into? There's a 5-inch grinder. It's a Dremel.
yeah, a very important tool.
Holy hell! Really getting in there.
Yeah. Because we've got to cut out like
You
a whole.
really need to take this outside now and blow it out with the.
Oh yeah, yeah. There'll be some extra cleaning required with this build. Absolutely. So hopefully I've taken enough off now that I can get the actual cooler mounted here. Yeah.
Michael says it sounds like a dentist.
Yeah, dude. Well, I mean, it's a Dremel tool, so.
It's kind of like what the dentist uses.
Oh man, I'm like.
You're like a millimeter.
Yeah, I'm like
inside.
1 millimeter off here, eh?
Odin says 5-inch will get it done fast.
Ah, yeah. I'll probably destroy it though. Grinding plastic's okay. This is what has to be done. This is like
Yeah, no.
this is what you
It's
have to
hard
do.
modding.
Yeah, we have to hard mod to fit this in.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Shove it. It's still pressing up against
Hang on, let me
the
just
end one.
Where's it catching? What's it catching down here? Is that the motherboard?
Ooh. Yeah.
the back one here is
Yeah,
catching a bit
it's
on the
catching
motherboard.
on this.
Okay, all right. So we've got more to grind out in a totally different location now. Love it. But fortunately now we're dealing with a corner bit.
Michael says this makes me want to buy a PC from JD Hi-Fi.
Yeah, it's getting there, but I like it when they get like this. It makes less of a mess when it's got the sandpaper
where's your PPE doing safeties? Can't I see?
Yeah, but
I
we're...
was just telling him he needs freaking glasses.
Appreciate the concern, people.
Yeah, but do you really want a hot piece of plastic in your eye? I really don't think you would that. Don't do as Tim does. Wear glasses when you're doing this, please.
Okay. All right. Do you wanna hold this? Because I should be able to. We should be able to put this in now.
Yay! What's the point in doing that?
I just wanted to
Take
get
it
some
out
of it.
anyway.
I just wanted to get some of it.
It's really raining.
No, so this is how custom PC building goes sometimes. You need to make it fit.
To
Yeah.
Michael says I'm in a PC building without a shirt on.
Oh no, you don't want to see me without a shirt on. No, not me,
Maybe,
man.
well, maybe they do.
Oh, but you're biased. Now we can get all 8 screws on. And it'll be just my luck that, like, you know, something else will go wrong. Eh? Something else will go wrong. Cat, what are you doing? You can smell that the door's open. I'm starting to sweat because that swamp air is coming in. Excellent. So after all that, we have our radiator mounted, our motherboard installed, and now we've just got cables to worry about. Very nice. Yeah, not so much of that. Let's just chip off. Yeah.
Raven says anyone can fit ours. And it takes a real technician to work around problems and come up with a solution.
Yeah, that's the about this. And it's these unforeseen problems, right? You know, when you buy Corsair fans, Corsair memory, Corsair case, you don't expect that you have to cut the Corsair fans to mount the Corsair cooler in the Corsair case, right? That's just like a, you know, basic like logical pathway, I guess you'd call that.
Michael wants to know what CPU is going on.
So this has got a i7 10700KF going in it. So a pretty decent CPU. Alright.
Raven says, out of curiosity, what driver brand do you use, like screwdriver set? I fix it.
I've got an iFixit set. I've got other random screwdrivers and bits and pieces that I
Nick
use.
is a very nice person, sent him a very nice set of iFixit.
Yeah, he sent me a
as well.
replacement set because I had a set and the screwdriver just came apart, and the thing is this one looks like it's going to come apart as well, so I'm not sure if I'm not sure if these iFixit tools are really very good if you're using them like commercially, if you know what I mean. Like, they make tools like this that are good quality just like for the home user, and I feel like these are good quality for the home user, and if I use it as intensely as what I do, I think I need something a bit more heavy duty than this. But I'm going to send them an email when I get time, because they say that they've got a lifetime warranty on their stuff, and I don't think it looks very good when they got someone building PCs and the screwdrivers keep falling apart. Like, that doesn't look.
Everyone wants to know if you rate iFixit.
Well, yeah, I do. I mean, I do. I rate the kits and stuff. The only thing I can say is that I've had a couple of the screwdrivers start to sort of die on me from intensive use, which is a little bit concerning. But you know, for a normal person, yeah, it's fine, not a problem.
So Michael wants to know, what do you think the Intel 12 Gen?
Intel 12 Gen. Yeah, I'm a fan. I will have to. We'll have to reverse the direction that I have this mounted. Mm-hmm. No. No, I just won't have room to plug in our cooler. Yeah.
Mechanic by trade. I'll put them to the test. Just for home use with PC, I can't put them on screwdrivers at home.
Yeah, yeah.
Alright, I think this might have to go into the top tray, and our hard drive might have to go into the bottom tray, just in terms of the cables reaching. Yeah. Hey Peter, how you going?
Hope it's not too cold in the UK.
Is this Peter from the UK?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, I can't see the names of like looking through the camera.
It's starting to feel like I'm living in the UK with all the rain we've had so
Yeah.
far. And it's actually been like a cool summer
It's-
at the moment.
Yeah, it's like
Even though the
humidity
like
sucks though.
100%.
Okay. Alright, so that's looking good. We got one cable here from our cooler down to this controller box here that we put into one of the trays there. And of our fans and RGB, all of this can be plugged in around the back, I believe. We should have room for most of it around the back. Maybe a couple of fans will plug directly into the motherboard, some will plug into this controller just based on where they are in the case. Let's put these fans on the cooler. There's one thing with Corsair RGB is, because of all the different devices, you want to make sure that you've got like one type of device plugged in per controller. So like if you've got QL fans and LL fans, you want the QL ones all plugged into one controller, and then you want the other ones plugged in to the other controller. Yeah, two different controllers, because it will show up in IQ as two different things. So you wanna differentiate it because you've got to set it up for the device, the sort of device you've got plugged into it. And if you tell it it's got this sort of device and you plug in something else, it won't work right. Remember your RGB light? Remember that lighting issue you had?
Yeah.
That was all about the controller
I'm
boxes.
still having issues because
With the
my
power, just the
supply
power
is not
supply
doing
though.
anything.
Just the power supply though.
Looks like it's having a seizure.
Alright. Let's plug the rest of these into our pre-installed controller.
You should screw in that back fan with the silver screws.
Yeah, I might do that.
Just get buttons of those things. Oh, I should have done that with power supply.
That's alright. Okay, so these fans can just get plugged in down here. It'll be nice and easy. Seal them away nicely.
Did you message Shani? Was it?
Yeah. Yeah, she finished work at like the time we started.
Oh.
So she'll be
Yeah,
she should
she
be
might be having like dinner.
she might be having dinner, yeah. But yeah, she'll get to watch. She might already be watching, just like she just doesn't talk in the chat, which is fine. Not everyone likes to talk in the chat.
No.
That's all. Alright, so let's just stuff these excess fan cables away there. I don't want to tie any down cable ties because that just so we'll have, what, another 3 fans up here, or just 2? No, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Yeah.
Peter says I heard you asked if I was people in the UK. Yes, I am. Living in Worcestershire.
Worcestershire. Yeah. don't mind us Australians. We don't know the correct pronunciation.
I'm like butchering your hometown.
I'm alright. I got family over there and
Yeah, well, my family's from there. I should know.
well, maybe you should.
Not far from Worcester. Am I saying that one right?
Sounds right.
Can you see it from
Yeah, Worcester it looks like. Worcester. I'm probably butchering it. Now I'm feeling insecure.
He is probably worse than I. We're sorry.
No, I'm sure. No, don't feel too bad because I'm sure there'll be like places over here that Peter wouldn't get the names right of either. So like it's all good. It's.
Like Calabar, people have a really hard.
Oh yeah,
time with that.
Capalabar's a good one. Capalaba. Even other Australians struggle with that one when they come to Queensland. Okay. So we got a few thin wires around here. I'm not too concerned about them. We've got one fan cable here that we're going to plug into the bottom of our motherboard. We've got some here, but we've got these cable extenders. So we're not going to need much of this cable length. So I might actually go ahead and put these, or put the motherboard one on the board. because we don't have too much else to plug in. Because we've gone with Corsair, we've got the Corsair controllers, we're just plugging in a couple of USB 2.0 ports. So, yeah, happy days. Alrighty. Okay, what have we got on this case to plug in around the front? We don't have USB-C, no C, we've got 3, audio, no 2. Excellent, that's perfect. So I'm thinking,
What's wrong? They're not mine.
yeah, these N2 are like,
Oh, I can see that from here. Yeah, that's weird. Maybe there was something went wrong with the shipping or something. Got a little smushed.
oh, it'll be alright, but yeah, there we go. Perfect.
I really like packaging on these things, eh? It's Christine proof. Ugh. Do you need one or two?
2. One of them doesn't need the 2 pin.
It's a favourite thing. Twist tie.
Okay. So we got our CPU cable in place. Then we need to plug in our motherboard power to this one over here. Then we plug this in without fucking this position. Let's not get our cables crossed here. It's like the #1 rule, right? And I broke my own wheel.
I was
I was looking-
like you've like crossed over your cables. You've
I was looking at all the little cables there.
Ma.
I know. Do as I say, not as I do.
Now I sound like a kid.
Ma.
I remember saying that in preschool. Kids got in trouble. Ma.
Okay.
Do kids still say that?
I don't know. I don't have kids.
No.
I used to always be confused about that. I'm like, are the kids saying like mama? This is me as a kid being confused about other kids. I was just that kind of kid. Okay, so we're looking pretty good around here. Where's our the USB 2? Yeah, there we go. So we need some SATA power. Is that the right way? Nope. Okay. Got a couple of SATA powers. There we go. And go ahead with our power supply. Alrighty. So now we've just got our front panel connections, RGB for the strips, these USB 2 cables. So it's all pretty straightforward from here. Done all the hard stuff. We cut our fan down to size so we can fit our RAM. And we've got our USB 2s.
You said strips before, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we could put strips in if Shani wants strips. Just let me know.
No, I heard you say strips because of the bathroom, pretty sure.
No, I meant the
Oh, strips.
yeah, I meant them. Sorry. Okay, so there were a couple of sneaky fan headers down the bottom, wasn't there? Oh, I'm not going to be able to reach down there. It's going to have to.
He said shit about
Oh, did I?
yeah, he's like, what the fuck's going on?
Sorry, just taking some deep breaths, Cat. It's all good. Don't flip your shit. Oh, we're gonna be able to. Yeah, let's get this bastard in through here. Yes, you fucking bastard. I hate these USB 3 cables. I can't wait till we completely swap over to C. It'll make my life better. Better? Better. Okay, front panel connections, graphics card cable extender. And we're pretty much golden. Okay, what have we got here? Reset. Power. And power LED, positive and negative. That's looking pretty good. So we'll put the rest of our screws in. Alrighty, looking good. So now the best part of the night, the graphics card part.
I want to hold it. just a little jealous.
Oh, cool! It's not completely covered in plastic.
No.
There's a little bit, but not much. Okay.
Seems like I'll give it to Christine because I don't want to fuck around with it. I saw that look. Oh jeez, that's sticky. No wonder why you gave it to me.
I'm thinking this bottom hole on the side, because we've got the power cable through there.
Oh my gosh. Tim, check it out. They put
Oh, a little tiny bit of sticky over that. Oh,
I'm sorry, but that's a little bit stupid. Why? It's very nice.
Okay. So time to get our card in the case. So we're utilising slots 2 and 3 here. Let's stick a couple of power connectors through. Okay. So is that all three? It is. We can go ahead and daisy chain these. And we can plug this RGB in down the bottom here with the rest of this stuff. Okay. So we've just got our SATA cable for our hard drive to install back there. So we're all looking pretty good here. So a few little things to overcome with this build, but we got there in the end. Nothing a Dremel doesn't fix. Fit, you make it fit.
So we'll put a couple little plugs here in the motherboard. So we don't want to use the display outputs from the board. And now that everything else is in place, we can position this back fan, the one that I only put 2 bolts in. So that's done intentionally. Go to install the cooler. Okay, let's plug that cable in around here. Alrighty. So let's see. Let's turn the power supply on first. Let's see if she works. Looking pretty alive. Is it going to post? I think it's going to post. That is looking like a post. Okay, B560. I'm going to quickly get a BIOS for this. So we got the Asus ROG Strix B560-A gaming Wi-Fi. That looks like the one. BIOS update. Just making sure we're running the latest. Okay, what version? We've got 10.17, so we've definitely got an update here. Alright, where are we? Going to advanced mode, tool, easy flash utility, and it's found our drive, ROG Strix B560A gaming Wi-Fi 1203, that's the one. just another cheap Corsair controller, I think. Oh, that's one of the good ones. Cool.
It's like the lock is like white hot, but it's really not. It's showing colours.
Yeah. But it's kind of cool if it was like white hot. Alrighty, well that'll take its time to do its thing. It's taking its time. Now it's going to speed up, maybe. Cat. Nearly done. Alrighty, so we can enable our XMP, and I think that's really all we've got to do. We're running all of our fans except one through the Corsair controllers. Let's go ahead and put Windows on it and get some software installed and all that good stuff. Just going to lie that down because it doesn't want to stand up. Okay. Don't have that on me. enter that later. Okay, so we can see our NVMe SSD there. Sweet as. Alright, now around the back here I can plug in our SATA cable. A little bit tight down here, but it's okay. So I'm just going to use one cable tie back here, just to tie down a few of these messy cables and our chunky USB 3 that always gets in the way. Oh, what's in the way there? Graphics card cable. Sweet as. Alright, let's get this sorted. US keyboard layout. Okay.
give Armory Crate a go. This is always a problematic install, this one. Okay, wait till it says installing, and we should be okay. Like it?
It's really nice. I like this one. I think this one's one of my favourites we've done.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Alright, let's put down some custom desktop icons so we can keep everything nice and organised. No. Oh yeah, well it's running on Microsoft basic display adapter drivers at the moment, so it won't be doing much. Yep, that's installing. It's doing their thing. We're about to get our display driver. It's just about to install. Okay, so we've got a WD hard drive, so we'll install Acronis True Image. Is that even open? Definitely double clicked it then. Stupid thing. No. We just need BattleNet. Yeah. Corsair fans are high static. Yeah, Corsair fans are high static pressure fans.
I can actually feel a breeze in my legs now.
Yeah.
One of the fans in the cooler isn't spinning.
Yeah, I'll fix that.
Okay, Armory Crate has installed successfully. Beautiful. Alright, so we want Corsair Iq, so this is to control our RGB other than the cable extenders. Still doesn't want to install. Yeah, Intel driver support. Okay, that's failed as well. As GeForce Experience, that might have been what was holding it up. They're finished. It's got to be restarted. Alrighty, there's our 8 core 16 thread CPU. Let's turn off all this annoying stuff that starts up automatically. IQ, yeah, no. We can decide what games we want to play when we turn on our computer. Okay. Just doing its thing. Microsoft apps need to be updated. We got everything from in here. Oh, I think we still need Epic. Epic failed, didn't it? There we go. Now I think that's pretty much everything we need from in here. Cool. Alright. So let's set up our hard drive. Hard drive. Should be able to set up MSI Afterburner quickly now. Or we're going to have to reinstall MSI Afterburner. Yeah, I think we're going to have to reinstall that. We'll restart first. Alrighty. So we have problems with MSI Afterburner, I think. We'll just reinstall that. Yep, that looks like it worked fine. Excellent. All right. So just tune our fan curve here. And we'll set up our on-screen display. Alright. Sweet as. How are these going? Alright, we got another restart there. Then that should be it. Alrighty, I'll just adjust the date and time. So that is on Sydney time. And that should be all of our updates. Might be a couple of little cumulative ones here. Yep. This will not take long. We shouldn't have any restarts from these, I don't think. Ah. One more restart. as. Alrighty. So let's see what the system can do. How are our temperatures looking? Alright. Alrighty, so our 10700 KF, our B560A gaming Wi-Fi motherboard. Okay, well, let's have a look at some gaming benchmarks. So we'll run Heaven here on the out of the box settings, which is high, no anti-aliasing, and this is 1080p, and it is obviously a DirectX 11 benchmark. Sorry about that. Alrighty, let's continue where we left off. Oh, firmware update, that's right. On our sweet. Alrighty. That's looking good. Alrighty, so let's set this up. There we go. Alrighty, so this number here below RAM is how many frames per second it's running at. And I'm sure all the other statistics should be relatively self-explanatory. Alrighty, that looks like it's just run through. So let's go and do Valley. So this one we go Ultra, Max Anti-Aliasing. so let's do the superposition and we'll do our stress test, and that'll be pretty much it for the night. So we'll run this one at 4K. That was superposition. Alrighty, so we're moving on to the final part of our night where we run our stress test. Oh, there's an app here that's not installed. Which we use for our stress test. Okay. So we'll set this up for a 90-minute run. Okay. sweet as. So if I was to go into Task Manager and I was to go over to our CPU, we would see these 16 blue boxes here, the 8 cores and 16 threads of our CPU. And over here in Cinebench we can see 16 blue boxes working on this picture. So essentially that's the 16 threads of our CPU hard at work on this picture. And then down here with our graphics card, we're stressing out our 3D rendering with this one down here. So essentially what we're doing, we're running the CPU and graphics card there at 100%. So we're basically rendering a video while we're trying to run a game. Two things that you're not going to do at the same time. So this is putting the CPU under a heap of stress. So what we're doing here is what we call a synthetic stress test. So if it passes the stress test here and nothing overheats, then I'm pretty confident that there's nothing that a customer will do to it that will make it overheat, unless they change the configuration. So that's pretty much it. So this is the end of the night, where we just let this run for 90 minutes now. So I open it up to anyone who's still watching for any other final questions for me before I sign off. No, it looks like it's the end of the night. It's sort of late tonight. There's only a couple of people still watching, so I'll probably just leave it here, I think. So let me actually be able to see the screen there. So thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch